Tenno Sports Central will be giving you guys my Week 1 rankings for this 2021 college football season. And just so you guys know right away, these are my personal rankings here today. So this is not the AP poll or the coaches poll. These are my personal rankings for Week 1 of this college football season. And as you guys know, if you've been around the channel for a while, we actually do our own personal rankings, and they get released typically every Sunday after every week of college football throughout the entire season. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started with our preseason / Week 1 rankings for 2021. 1 through 5 will be first. We got Alabama coming in at number 1, which, I mean, you got to put the Crimson Tide at number 1. They won the national title last season, and they were easily the most dominant team in the nation last year. It was very clear. And of course, Alabama, I'm not sure that they'll be the national title champion this season, but I do think Alabama is still going to be a definite national contender for sure. Number 2 is going to be the Oklahoma Sooners, and Oklahoma is a team that you really are going to want to keep your eye on this upcoming college football season. Spencer Rattler, that team is looking outstanding heading into this 2021 season, and quite frankly, I would not be surprised if we saw Oklahoma in the national title game this upcoming season. Clemson is number 3. No more Trevor Lawrence for the Tigers. They got DJ Uiagalelei now under center full-time for Clemson. So it's going to be a different year for Clemson, but I still expect them to be a good team. And as we head into this college football season, they'll be number 3. Georgia comes in at number 4. That's also a team to watch out for. JT Daniels, tons of talent on that offense, and defensively, Georgia is very stout as well. So Bulldogs coming in at number 4. Number 5 is going to be Ohio State. That was a team that was in the national title against Alabama last season, but Ohio State does take a few losses, so I do have them at number 5 to get things started with this Week 1 with Week 1 of this season. But Ohio State will still definitely be a national contender. I mean, you got JT Shrout, who looks like an outstanding quarterback. This will be his first starting season with Ohio State, but of course, Ohio State in general, I mean, Ryan Day, that team looks just fine heading into this upcoming season. Moving on to 6 through 10, we got Iowa State coming in at number 6. And Iowa State is also a team that you really want to keep your eye on this upcoming season. You got Brock Purdy in there, potentially one of the best running backs in the nation there with Breece Hall. That is a very talented team, and offensively especially, Iowa State is extremely talented this upcoming season. North Carolina is number 7. Tar Heels are also looking like an outstanding team. You got a very talented Sam Howell, who obviously could be one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, if not the best. I mean, he's extremely talented, and North Carolina in general has got plenty of upside heading into this upcoming season. Texas A&M comes in at number 8. Texas A&M is a team that I think, I don't know if they'll be quite as good in 2021 as they were in 2020. Of course, you got a new quarterback. No more Kellen Mond for Texas A&M, and you also got several losses on both sides of the ball. So Texas A&M starts the season at number 8, but I don't think it'll be quite as good of a season as we've seen in the past out of the Aggies. Number 9 is going to be Cincinnati. Cincinnati is definitely an early favorite for me to be the best Group of 5 conference team. I mean, you got an outstanding quarterback. You've got a ton of talent returning from 2020. I mean, all the keys to success are there for Cincinnati in this upcoming season. It's just a matter of how high they can get in the polls. Notre Dame comes in at number 10. Which this is a very interesting Fighting Irish team this upcoming season. You got no more Ian Book. He has moved on, and it is up to Wisconsin transfer Jack Cohn to lead this Notre Dame team this upcoming season at the quarterback position. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens here. Notre Dame is still a very talented team for sure. It's just a matter of how high they can get in the end. So Notre Dame will round up our top 10 for Week 1. On to 11 through 15, we got Florida coming in at 11. The Gators are also a very intriguing team. You don't have Kyle Trask anymore. He has moved on, and now it's up to Emory Jones. First season for Emory Jones being a starting quarterback. So it will be very interesting to see how he does. And honestly, I'm very much looking forward to seeing how Florida does this upcoming season. Miami is number 12. Definitely a team that a lot of people are sleeping on. You got De'Ara King, who is an outstanding quarterback, and there's a ton of talent on that offense. I mean, that offense is going to be great this upcoming season. And even defensively, Miami is still got a tremendous amount of depth. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the Hurricanes do. And really, many people are hyping up North Carolina in the ACC, which rightfully so. North Carolina is going to be a great team, but watch out for Miami. I mean, it wouldn't be surprising to me if Miami did end up beating North Carolina for that division. So watch out for Miami. That is a team that definitely definitely should be watched this upcoming season. USC is number 13, potential Pac-12 champion. I think they're my current projected Pac-12 champion for this upcoming season. I mean, I really like Keaton Slovis, and I think that's easily USC is easily the most talented team in the Pac-12 this upcoming season, so they'll be number 13. Oregon is 14, slightly below the Trojans. And of course, you may say since Oregon was the Pac-12 champion, they should be higher than USC, but I don't know. I think Oregon, that's a very interesting team. No more Tyler Shuck. It's up to Anthony Brown now. It'll be very interesting to see what happens in Oregon this upcoming season. That is a team that I could easily see as a 10-2 or 11-1 team, but I could also easily see them being 7-5 or 8-4. So the ceiling is pretty high for Oregon, but at the same time, the floor is pretty low. Indiana is number 15. Hoosiers are also a team to really watch out for this upcoming season. I mean, Indiana with Michael Penix. Michael Penix is outstanding, and Indiana in general. This could be their best season in a long time. So watch out for that team. On to 16 through 20, we got Wisconsin coming in. The Badgers at number 16. Current Big Ten West favorite for me. It's either going to be Wisconsin or Minnesota. One of those teams will win the division this upcoming season, but Wisconsin right now looks like the better team. It's just a matter of how Graham Mertz does, but nonetheless, Wisconsin is number 16. LSU is number 17 after a very disappointing 2020 campaign, but LSU's got a lot of talent back, and they were just very young last season, and considering how well that they did, considering how young LSU was last year, I think this Tiger team will be just fine heading into 2021. Penn State's number 18, slightly below Wisconsin. Penn State is also a team to watch out for. They were pretty disappointing last year, but I definitely think Penn State should be back this upcoming season. Texas at 19, very interesting team. I mean, you got Oklahoma and Iowa State, the big two in the Big 12 right now, but you got Texas in the background. Don't forget about Texas. They could be definitely a team that could definitely put up a challenge against Oklahoma or Iowa State. Washington is number 20 out of the Pac-12, and Washington is also a very interesting team because you got, of course, Oregon and USC, the two main standouts in the Pac-12, but Washington should not be slept on for sure. And lastly, 21 through 25, we got Iowa coming in at 21. But first, I do want to name my honorable mentions for this list here today. Usually, they'll be on a graphic at the end of this video, but of course, since we haven't seen any games yet, we can't use our typical ranking graphics. So at number 26, the honorable mentions list goes as follows. We got Louisiana, Ole Miss, Auburn, TCU, and NC State. So those are your first 5 out of this list. Louisiana, that's a team that I definitely think should or could be on this list. I mean, they're pretty much just as talented as Utah or Oklahoma State, but Louisiana, I'm going to put them out just for now. I do want to see how Louisiana does in the first couple of weeks before putting them into my rankings. Ole Miss is also a team that could be on this list. That's a team that's got Matt Corral, outstanding quarterback. Watch out for that team. Auburn, Bo Nix, interesting team there. TCU, don't forget about them. And same thing with NC State in the ACC. But as for our 21 through 25, once again, we got Iowa at 21. The Hawkeyes are definitely an interesting team as well. You got several losses on both sides of the ball with Iowa. So I'm being kind of cautious about Iowa with my week 1 rankings. I mean, I think the AP poll has them at like 17 or 18, but Iowa, I've got them at 21 just because of the amount of losses that they had over the past offseason. Coastal Carolina, potentially also an outstanding team. I mean, they're not losing a whole lot, so I think Coastal Carolina is still going to be a contender this upcoming season. Arizona State, really like this Sun Devil team. Jaden Daniels really wasn't able to shine much last season, but when Jaden Daniels played in his first season, I mean, he was outstanding. I mean, he only threw 2 picks in an entire season. I think his touchdown to interception ratio was like 17-2. So I really like Jaden Daniels. He didn't have as good of a 2020 season, but then again, Arizona State only played like 3 or 4 games. So it'll be very interesting to see how Arizona State does. Utah's number 24, Charlie Brewer transferring in. So I think Utah will be pretty good. Then Oklahoma State at number 25, also a background team in the Big 12. So once again, appreciate you guys all watching. That wraps up my week 1 rankings. I'll be releasing these every Sunday from here on out all the way until January. So yeah, stay tuned for those. We always do this every week, and so I appreciate you guys all watching. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. I'll see you guys later.